fruit fermenter, yeah! Okay, now, so this is phase 1. So I got a drill bit, and I just kind of heard about this word of mouth. I haven't actually watched anything on it, so I'm guessing this is how it goes. Here's this fucking big-ass drill bit I got here. And we are going to put it into the rollers here, like this. You can see that. Right in there, and we're going to just turn it on. You know what I mean? And we're going to, these things are going to spin, and we're going to knurl up these rollers a little bit so they kind of grab the barley and pull it through. Holy shit. Well, it's working quite well. We're getting some, you can see that, all those marks on there. We're also going to Dremel some grooves in here, some lines with my Dremel here, so that we can get some actual, like, traction on it, some actual grab. This should grab a bit and help. I want to pull it in and really have those lines grooved in it quite well. I'm doing it this way because the only video I saw on this, the guy took the whole thing apart, and there's a lot of pieces in there, and I really don't want to take this apart. I think I can do it with the Dremel tool and this drill bit just fine, and without taking it apart. So anyway, I'm going to cut here, and we're going to come back when we start slicing some notches, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay, so we have knurled these quite well. I think that is definitely good enough to use. I've used one of these before. This is what my brother did for his barley mill. But I saw the other guy use an angle grinder, and I thought, why don't I just take this Dremel here with one of these very thin wheels on it and make some lines in these rollers. Just kind of, it doesn't seem to be getting too deep. I've tried to make one already. The knurling may work actually better. Well, let's see how this works. I'm going to take a nice long pass at it in one go so you're not getting out of the groove. Try to make one solid line. I don't actually know how thick the steel is on these rollers. You don't want to go through the roller, so don't go too crazy. And that's what I'm going to try. So I got my Dremel here. Always use the proper safety equipment, you know what I'm saying? So the wheel pretty much disintegrated by the time I got across here. So you can get these, there are a lot of them. They're very thin. You're going to need a lot of them because I've used these all the time for certain applications, and they don't hold up to much abuse. So be very gentle with them or they'll just kind of fly apart on you. And there is a little washer on the mandrel here. Try not to lose that. And it kind of helps keep together because they're very fragile. It's just for straight cutting. Like, you can't chisel at anything while it's on or anything, it'll just fly apart. So I'm going to make those notches in here a little bit. I might hit it with the drill a little bit after. Well, I got millions of little notches in there, but we'll make sure it's going to grab the barley. We'll grab a handful of malted barley and we'll see what happens. All right. Okay, so we knurled our rollers. We put some grooves in them with the Dremel tool. I tried other Dremel tools. The wheels seem to work the best. I went through about 25 wheels. You maybe will get lucky if you get one pass on them. These type of things, they don't work, and neither will this. So don't even bother. Just go straight for the wheels. Okay, now bring this up here. Sorry. There is the grain mill there. shot there. Actually, you know what? Sorry. Very professional here. There, this is a bit smarter, isn't it? So it sucks it through. And this is adjustable. There is an adjustment dial. This is why this pasta maker is so nice. I mean, for 40 bucks, and you can get them cheaper than that. There's a lot of, if on the other guy's video, I can't remember what it is, but you'll probably see his too. He took the whole thing apart. Like, it's not that simple of a machine. It's simple enough, but yeah, it just cracks the barley open, just crushes it quite nicely. So, see if we can get a kind of a shot of that barley there. That's what you want. You just kind of want the barley broken open. That pulled it straight through with all that knurling and stuff. It just sucked that stuff right in. And so after some time, if it may not pull the barley in anymore, just stick your drill in there again and a sharp drill bit and knurl everything up again. So now the next phase will be the hopper, obviously. And you can also put a chute along the bottom to have it come out. And obviously you want to take this, cut it off, and put this in your drill chuck. And make a spot for your drill to mount into the side of this barley mill. Like that. So, yeah, anyway, sounds great. So, let's do that up next. You know what I'm saying? Yeah! Alright, so what I got here is some jet tack. This is a construction grade epoxy for flooring installation purposes. And we're going to attempt to epoxy. And epoxy works on almost everything. Metal, I think I might be pushing my luck here. I'm kind of crude at times. So here's my hopper though, because I'm really lazy. I didn't even bother to center this, but this is the exact right size to go over top of this shit right here. Apologize for my camera work here. So it fits just over there. You know, you don't want to make it too big, like any bigger than, you can see that we still have, right, like, we're over to here about, but you don't want to be on this side of the thing. You want it to fall in, so don't make it any wider than this space here, and don't make it any wider than this. So this is how you use, if you've never used epoxy before. I tend to have a lot of luck with epoxy because, you know, it's just awesome stuff. As PL400, like Liquid Nails you might call it, or Tight Bond makes a product like that. There's other ones. It doesn't really work on anything that's chrome. Okay, so, alright, so we're going to put a fair dab of this down. It comes out of here in two different colors. There's a blue side and a clear side. And then you got to put the lid back on. If these two mix, they will react and they will solidify and it'll glue whatever shut. So very carefully take all the blue off. Not to try very hard not to mix it with any of the clear. Take the other side of whatever you're using. I'm just using a piece of cardboard here. A very, very crude individual I am. So try and get all that off because this tip here goes back on. You can kind of tell which one is blue on this side here. So you stick that one back in the blue side. There are applicator tips that mix it for you, but you really got to crank on them to mix your epoxy. And I don't like them because this stuff is really, this is $20 for this silicone sized tube of this. And then you put that on. So I'm very, very careful where I leave it. I try not to freeze it or anything like that, and I use it sparingly. I put a huge dollop of it down because epoxy's cool that way. You can do that. Some adhesives like contact cement you don't want to put very much on at all. So we're going to mix that together. And there's not a whole lot of fumes from this really, so it's not like you need might want to use a respirator if you want, or how paranoid you are. I'm not really going to bother with that. So mix it up. Now it turns clear essentially when it's mixed together properly or fully. So you want to get it mixed together very well because you want the best bond possible. And on something like this, don't be afraid to make a little bit extra because on something this important, you want to make sure that you have enough. All right. because this will set up in 5 minutes, and it'll be harder than hell in about 20. So, oops, you don't want that in your rollers, so be very careful there. That may be an issue. I might grab some masking tape or something to cover those up so that I don't get shit all in them. I'm going to put that on there. You may want to have some isopropyl alcohol on hand to help clean this a little bit. Not much is going to help in the way of cleaning with this stuff. I mean, this is incredible glue. I don't even know if it's technically even considered glue. And you can find this at the dollar store too. Like if you just want 5-minute epoxy, that may work. This is just what I use because I know it's incredible stuff. But you can't find 5-minute epoxies at the dollar store. And you can try them out. If not, just use some self-tapping metal screws. This barley mill was perfect. This pasta maker was perfectly functional a few minutes ago. Now it's completely destroyed. That's alright though. That's what we want to do. And any of the gaps I'm going to have after, if I do have any, I'll just plug them with silicone. Silicone is actually really good glue as well. It works excellently. Where you wouldn't think it works sometimes. Just won't stick to other silicone or anything that's too greasy. So I always keep some isopropyl on hand. Alright, so see what's going to happen here. I'm just positioning that right on top of there. Now I squished out a little bit on one of the sides, so I'm just going to cut off myself off another slice here. And I'm going to just clean up in there. I don't want any of that. I don't want to glue my rollers shut. Alright. So, all in all, I've spent a few, probably not even an hour really so far in real time doing this. So, I think that's pretty good speed. Like, we're clipping along here. Like, I like to do shit easy. That's why this is a 5-gallon bucket. I'm not building a fucking hopper out of plywood or anything like that, because this is, for making beer, if this works, it works. That's it. That's all I care about. So I'm going to let that set up, and you know what I mean? And then we'll see how it bonds to that plastic. I'm going to kind of come underneath and kind of spread it out like a caulking bead underneath here to try and fan out, because epoxy is going to harden almost like a plastic cement, basically. And so I figure if we fan some out, just add some strength there, and then I might, after it's set up, maybe drill a couple holes and put in a self-tapping screw or something like that. But anyway, we'll be right back after these messages. Alright, so we're waiting for this glue to set up. I went under there, did a little bit of extra stuff. I'm going to use some silicone and things later, maybe some other fasteners, but at least this is solid in place. Actually, I wish I would have remembered I was going to use MacTac, which is a foam double-sided tape. Now that sounds crude, and I'm kicking myself in the ass right now because that stuff sticks like you wouldn't fucking believe. So I'm like, damn, it could have been even easier, and hopefully worked. So while we're waiting for this to set up, it's always important to have a beer on hand. So I do lots of beer reviews on the channel, so come check that shit out. Here's one left over from the 6-pack. I've already reviewed this. This is the Deschutes Chainbreaker White IPA. So let's just go over this for a minute here. I pour this and we'll discuss it. Because this one is kind of strange. You may, if you read the label, the fine print, it does admit to being a Belgian. So this is not that cold. This is just nice and a little bit cooler than cellar temperature or something. Okay, so here's a color shot for us here. Alright. Nice. That's what the head looks like. Kind of a lemony, zesty, almost like a Saison. Actually, very Saison-like. And not getting a whole lot of hop aroma out of here. And it is looking quite like a wheat beer. But in the finish, you're pulling up some fresh dry hop, like some Cascade or something maybe. So it is as it warms up more, and the more you drink it, the more cascade you will pick up in the finish of this beer. Yeah, I think I rated it about an 8.9 out of 11. I like the Spinal Tap things around here so they taste better. Nice color shot. So if you think you'd be into this kind of beer, if you're into saisons at all, quite drinkable. A lot more turbidity there, so it seems to be bottle conditioned. Nice bitterness to the back. That's looking creamier when you slosh that yeast up in there. Yeah, anyway, so we take a little beer break. And we'll get to the next part of this whole demo here, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Alright, so some few minutes have gone by, not many. I'm just a little bit further along in my beer. And this thing is actually quite stable. I was a little bit worried about the epoxy, So we can rock this around. It's fairly stable on there. I wouldn't want to put too much force on it. I think I'm going to maybe attempt to do some more fastening there, but we'll see how if this busts off or whatever. I'm just going to be very careful where I set this the way it is, which you probably would want to be anyway, no matter what type of hopper you went on there, because this is just a very light gauge tin that the housing of this pasta maker is made with. So I think I pretty much wrap this up. So it's, I'm gonna get this thing in action so you all can really see it work. Because what I'm doing now, as soon as I get the next day off, might be hopefully pretty quick here. We're gonna go on Beersmith, and we're gonna get a recipe, and we're gonna design a beer, and we're gonna run that barley through this motherfucking thing right here. You know what I'm saying? All right, so everything seems to be in place, people. Everything's ready to go. I'm going to cut this off here before it starts to slope, probably about there. Put it in a drill and put it on a block of wood. I don't know if I have to go through that for you. Hopefully you can visualize that. And just tune in to the next video because it'll all be together. Hey, what do you say we grind a little bit of barley, huh? What? We can't end on that kind of a... almost like popcorn. Okay, we'll throw some barley in there. Yeah, I'm sorry. There we are. Alright. Oh, this might be a bit of an issue. Because the hopper is there, so the hand crank will not work with the hopper there. So if you want to use a hand crank, if you want to grind your barley by hand, make sure that your hopper is off to the side of that handle, because I'm only going to get half a turn there, so I'll try and... Hey, that's all I got. I got to reset the turn there. Okay, that's working pretty damn good for only getting one full revolution there. There we go. There, we pretty much ran all the barley through in a revolution and a half. All the barley was sitting on those rollers. So now you put an electric drill on there, and I think you'll be moving some barley. So I'm excited to get the next all grain recipe going here, and maybe we'll drink the last all grain recipe, which is my oatmeal stout. I got one growler left of that. A lot of age on it. We'll see how that progressed. And I'm thinking I want to maybe do pale ale. Just a pale ale. Just get that fermenter moving. And then we're going to do some big beers, you know what I'm saying? Because big beers are expensive. And I think, what the hell? Let's do a barley wine. I think that'll be next. Pale ale, then a barley wine. BeerZerker! The all grain, you know what I'm saying? Alright, folks, don't forget to comment, rate this, and subscribe. Thanks for watching the motherfucking movie. Catch y'all next time. And I'm out. Yay!